sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are, as we are off and running on EA Sports. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Broncos take over first and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Cougar 19. Dragon 60.
To throw is Milton. Now he's going to step up and run. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete. When you talk about this Seahawk defense, they come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
Let's go. 60 Bison, 60 Bison. 70 Rangers, 70 Rangers, go.
Throwing is Milton. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there of finding him in stride for really good yardage.
Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
Here's Milton. Now he'll tuck this and run. Over the middle, he's going to find Burden. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
2 yards to go, second down.
7 Pirates, 19, 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick. 19 Lions. Ready.
Here's Milton now to throw. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A first down there on a pickup of 25. 4 consecutive passes to begin this opening drive, and you can't argue with the results. They've already driven it into the red zone and a fresh set of downs here to play with.
Which means there's a lot of trust by the play caller, by the quarterback, the receivers, you name it. Everyone locked in, everyone doing their job. I'd continue to go in that direction because right now they got the defense back on their heels.
Let's go now.
Now the Central Florida product is R.J. Harvey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Pretty straightforward play there by the linebacker. He saw the run, went with straight-ahead pursuit, and dumped him behind the line of scrimmage.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
Come on.
To throw, it's Milton. Touchdown, Broncos! Jimmy Horn Jr., his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line. So this is going to come out to the 35. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now a first carry for the brother of Dalvin. It's James Cook. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
A 6-yard pickup.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 4.
Here we go. Set. Panthers.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Looking to throw. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1.
A gain of 3. It's 4th down.
Here's Daniel Whelan now.
Whelan in
Back
punt
deep is
formation.
a very dangerous Mike Hughes. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10.
26-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. And look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 6.
Cup 19. Cup 19. 70 Timberwolves. Buffalo 18.
Milton. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And the Seahawks are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Warriors 70. 70 Lions.
2nd and 14. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. It's a loss of a yard, so they'll wind up crediting it with a sack, and it brings up 3rd down. A tough spot here. 3rd and 15.
19. Here we go. Here we go. Cougar 19. 60 Eagles. 6.
They'll set up to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. And here's Daniel Whelan on now to punt.
Daniel Whelan in punt formation.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. That's to the running back, R.J. Harvey. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. They run straight ahead with Harvey. They'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite powering through the tackle. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Makes it 3rd and 2.
Ready, set.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Trying to run for it. Here's Harvey. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
First down, Denver.
18, right in.
Now Milton. Open man, that's Felton. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't he?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot him at the 44. But fortunately, another offensive player quick to react, and they will indeed retain possession. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Here we go, Jack.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. The Seahawks at 0-2 here to begin the season. And listen, they made their share of mistakes in these first 2 games, CD, but talking with them in the days leading up to this one, doesn't seem like they've lost any confidence.
I would agree with that, and what they told us was that they weren't planning on making any drastic changes. They didn't see the need to shake things up. They were going to continue to plow ahead. They thought they had the right guys on the team, and in the locker room. But they do have to start winning some games. But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
Go!
They'll run it. Here's Cook. Well, they needed two. They could only get one. Fourth down.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
Jason Myers for the Seahawks field goal. A 43-yard.
And Myers winds up yanking it. This is no good. Wide to the left, and this will stay at a 7-point game.
Looked like he might have overcompensated there for being on the right hash because you've got to make sure you get the angle right. But that time he started it too far left and winds up hooking it way too far.
Looking right side, and it's intercepted. Ronnie Hickman with a pick. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
Hawk 7.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
A minute 55 left to go in the first half of play. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Come on. Set. Ready.
And they'll run it here. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1 at the 9-yard line.
Let's go now. Huh. Let's go.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
Some good strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal.
Ready.
Williams is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Harris will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time, he had the speed to win that race.
Myers connects on the PAT. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime.
Jason Myers to kick
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. He will score. Touchdown, Broncos. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him. Kick it to him. The way he runs, as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 30. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. With this slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half, we'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive. Shows his strength at the 50. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
That's good for us Seahawks. First down. First and 10.
18 Cardinals, 18 Cardinals.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Brings up second and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Back to throw here. And incomplete on the deep ball.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. He'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. No move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Now back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And that will force a turnover on downs. Denver offense at the line ready to go. A final shot before break. Milton. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. A one-touchdown ball game, 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports. And that one not returnable, not by a long stretch, over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 35-yard line. Looking to put a drive together.
Come on.
They'll start by running the option to the right. That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there, and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it'll be second and a couple. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Here we go, set. Panther 60, Panther 60. Let's go.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he is caught. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they convert on third and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
That's good for a Seahawks first down. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Cougar 19.
Back to throw now on first down. They'll dump this off to Cook. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, as the defense rallies quickly after the nice move. From the 31, here's a second and 8.
Here we go, here we go. Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
Now they'll change things around before the snap.
Right back to Cook for another completion. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles. Viking 18.
Third down, here's a run by Cook. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was third and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you try to have a few men in the box there.
And the agility got him a few extra before he's taken down right at the 10. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play.
While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Facing a 2nd and 3, ball on the 10.
Let's go. 10 black.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to first and goal.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
They'll run with Cook. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
On 2nd and goal, here's the option.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's third down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Cowboy 80. Tight, 19 tight, go!
They'll look to throw on third and goal. This is caught. They do get 8 out of the pitch and catch, however, it's fourth down.
That catch, number 750 of his NFL career, and it puts him even with not just one but two Hall of Famers, Michael Irvin and Charlie Joyner. So some pretty good company at 750.
Hey, you talk about the playmaker, Michael Irvin, and the guy who just made plays, Charlie Joyner. And that's what we're seeing here. Similar style in terms of being dependable, being open, and turning it into plays that you remember.
Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first, so two remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Now here's Jason Myers. He gets set for the Seahawk field goal. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Myers' kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got three there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Seven Pirates, 19 Tiger, 19 Light.
Throwing to start the drive. Milton. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick-six territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the third row.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70. Dragon 60. 79 Broncos.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Over the middle, complete. It's Harvey. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Looking to throw. Milton connects with Kittle underneath. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
Buffalo 18.
Back to throw again. Open man is Kmet, the tight end. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 19.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
Mustang 19. Ready.
They'll look to throw again. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Cole Holcomb. There he goes left side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This game, it's been defensively oriented on both sides. So I guess it stands to reason that the play of the game comes on defense.
So it's my kind of game. You know that. Anytime we have a defensive battle, but that, as you said, it stands to reason that's the way the game tilted. Someone had to make a big play, and the way the defenses were dominating, that's exactly what we got.
Broncos 14.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Over first and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Okay, quick.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And they have to try and move past that pick six because now they're dealing with a fourth quarter deficit. And they need this drive to end in points. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already.
It's a gain of 17 yards.
To throw is Milton. Over the middle, it's complete. And he's brought down. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Get it. Now, cut 19. Cut 19. Ready?
Throwing is Milton. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
On the jump.
Second and 10.
Let's go.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Setting up a screen for Harvey. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
Well, they certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on first and 10.
Come on. Hey. Cowboy 80. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates. 79 Broncos.
Here's Milton. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Ty Felton, 27 yards. And the Broncos have taken a fourth quarter lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 4-point game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line of the end zone. So this ball will come out to the 30 now. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in the tight one. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
That's good for a Seahawks first down. First and 10.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And complete right side to Cook. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Now they'll shift things around.
First and 10
Back
at
to
the
60.
42-yard
Chop
line.
60. Chop. Ready.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Franklin. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed, too.
Now, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Now a second and 10.
Ready. Go.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, Had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out.
Here now, third down.
Here we go. Mustang 19. Bronco 80. Ready?
They'll set up a throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
Here's first and goal.
Let's go now. 60 Eagles. 60 Eagles.
They'll set up to throw. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
And he stopped immediately there.
Partner, you got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. Third and goal. Back to throw.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
Here's a big one. It's fourth and goal.
70 Lions. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Harold Fannin, his first touchdown here of the new campaign.
And the Seahawks answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a fourth-quarter lead.
Broncos 21.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
For Seattle.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
At their own 28-yard line.
This is first and 10.
Back to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
They'll look to throw.
That'll be complete to Harvey. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout.
What a pickup there, and maybe most importantly, he's able to get out of bounds and save their final timeout. So just to break down defensively, you've got to find a way to make that tackle in the field of play.
He'll look to throw. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And down inside the 15 he goes. The two big plays, one after the other. Now all of a sudden, they're on the march.
Got to feel good about what they've just gotten done, and now feel really good about what's in front of them.
Ready.
Well, this offense still has the one timeout here, remember. First and 10.
Mustang 70.
He's back to throw. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages.
Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, They made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Here's 1st and 10.
Let's go now. 19, touch.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This ball intercepted. And the Broncos are going to hang on the final play. They get the turnover to seal this football game. So this one will wind up a Denver victory, and a little bit of a surprise they lose the turnover battle, but wind up winning the ballgame.
And this is very unusual because you know all teams stress winning the turnover battle as a key indicator to winning ball games. So when you get something that goes against the grain like the one we saw here, it's quite the oddity. Now let's face it, they'll be very happy that they pulled this off, but they do know that in the future they've got work on taking care of the football because this won't happen very often.
So for the Broncos, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, the early struggles continue as they'll